Good day, everybody. My name is Hilde Stenuit. I'm here on behalf of our IceCube service team, and I work with a company called Space Application Services that has headquarters in Belgium. I myself am based in the Netherlands. And I want to thank the organizers of the Australian Space Biology and Health Symposium to have me here as a speaker and to organize this very exciting event, and especially also the combination of space biology and health, which I think is very opportune and timely to discuss about the combination of those. So thank you very much for having me here. What I want to talk about today is, on the one hand, give a short overview of our IceCube service and what we do for those that might not be familiar, but also specifically talk about a new project that we kicked off recently that relates to microgravity for personalized medicine. And around that, we want to kick off a community. And I think some of you here listening might actually be interested in joining that community. And I have an invitation for you if you hang in there. So let's get started and maybe introduce who we are with IceCubes, what we do. So IceCubes provides a unique end-to-end service to get access to space, to do research or technology testing, or to do STEM projects. So the end-to-end service that we provide allows for your research to be launched to space, to our facility that we own on board the International Space Station in customizable units or cubes, as we refer to them, that may be very different in size and even more different in content. And so we provide fast track and regular access to space. So with fast track, I mean that, just to give a recent example, we did a project for which we initiated the very first discussions October 22. And in fact, in October 21, the scientist actually got the samples that came back from space back into his lab. So less than 1 year from the very initial talk about what could be the project about until getting back with the samples from the space mission. Regular, we fly with the different vehicles that go to the space station, and we typically launch 3-4 times per year different units or cubes to our facility on board. We make the processes and the service overall as simple as we can, because it is very important not only to provide this service to entities that know about space, but also to non-space sectors and non-space entities. So we don't think there is a need for them to learn space-related processes. So we try to simplify in that sense, so that also people and entities that have never done anything in space can access the facility and the space station. Facility also provides for a unique real-time interaction capability. So you can be sending commands from your location directly to your unit or cube in space and get real-time data back immediately. And of course, the IP rights related to the results are owned by the customer. So why did we set up this service? When people think of research or technology in space, they typically think of space exploration related topics where we could use or envisage the International Space Station as a test bed for research or technologies to be tested in view of long-term space exploration to the moon, to Mars, to deep space. But in fact, more and more, we think it's also very relevant to use and leverage the unique assets of the space environment for the benefit of Earth R&D and for us Earthlings here. And in particular, this effect of not having to deal with gravity on the space station or in space in general, can lead to very interesting effects and can be actually integrated in value chains of different sectors, including many relevant non-space sectors. And so we look for international cooperation in those sectors that can benefit from the unique assets of the space environment. And so that allows to build in or integrate space as part of everyday value chains in that way. So the process related to the IceCube service includes to provide guidance in terms of engineering support during experimental development. But people can also choose not to do their own development, to use existing setups, or we can help develop. We also provide, of course, the safety and integration processes. Of course, we provide the opportunity for launch and the operations accommodation. And if people want to have their samples returned, that is also possible. And we operate the service and we do a lot through partnerships. In such a way that we provide a global service. So we initiated the service as space application services through a public-private partnership with the European Space Agency. But through our subsidiary in Houston, we also provide the service in the US as an implementation partner to the ISS National Lab that some of you are probably familiar with. In the other regions or continents, we work through partnerships or direct utilization of the service. Both are possible. One specific asset I want to mention is something that we are launching in December. That is an artificial intelligence box. With built-in sensors. And the reason I want to mention that is that I think it's very opportune again to actually link artificial intelligence with some of the research that is being done on the space station and to boost the research capabilities in different sectors by these capabilities in AI. So we will be launching this box that includes an NVIDIA Jetson Xavier computer for those that are aware. And that will allow also for real-time command and monitoring. And so it's possible to connect, either to use the built-in sensors that can measure environmental markers, or to connect this AI capability with other cubes in our facility or with other payloads, and to have the AI algorithms process data or imagery coming from those other units, and possibly even take action on as a response of the processing of the AI back towards these other units. So I did want to mention it because also in the area of space biology or health, it's very interesting right now to apply AI capability also for those sectors. So why space for life sciences R&D? And since you are here and participating to this event, you might already have a couple of clues on why we actually can integrate space for life sciences R&D. But just to summarize, so when we go to space or to the space station, and on the inside of the space station, we see two main effects or two main assets, I would say. One is microgravity, the other is radiation. And so how can we benefit actually from microgravity for life sciences R&D? So we see a number of effects that have been scientifically observed and published as well, that are very relevant and that can be utilized for applied life sciences R&D. So for example, we see increased cell growth and virulence. We see that we can create more easily three-dimensional cell cultures without the need for scaffolds that may allow for better modeling. And I'll get back to that for sure. We also see that we can arrive to better crystallization, for example, of proteins. So the crystals that are created under microgravity conditions are larger and show a higher quality than the similar ones created on Earth. And microgravity can also be used or seen as a way to accelerate disease or aging, and as such it can be used as a model for disease and aging as well. But also the effect of radiation that is often seen as with a negative reputation, I would say, can actually be used in some aspects for life sciences R&D. So, for example, radiation therapy can be improved, or we can use it to develop radioprotectant pharma, or to study pharmacological responses, or identifying biomarkers for radiation responses. So these are all benefits or that can result from those assets of microgravity and radiation that can be leveraged in the context of life sciences R&D activities. Here I show a couple of examples of research that we have been doing or that we are launching in the near future that relate to different aspects of life sciences. So for example, study on tumor growth. We will be launching a model aorta next year, resulting from a university level competition of ESA, of the European Space Agency. We also had some studies related to biomining, but also genetic study. For example, recently we had one related to human microbiome. We regularly also provide access to this crystallization incubator through the service of Kirara that we work in collaboration with a Japanese partner. And we will also be launching a cube that relates to a disease of banana plants, for example. But as I mentioned in the beginning, I also wanted to talk about a specific project that we recently kicked off, and that is co-financed by the European Space Agency, that is called Microgravity for Personalized Medicine. And it relates to bringing organoids or tumors or spheroids into space. And around that project, we are currently kicking off the setup of a community. And I want to address that specifically also to you here today. So the project relates to 3D tissues, organoids, and spheroids that are grown in microgravity or cultured in microgravity, and related research. And that also allows for the development of personalized medication and chemotherapeutic agents. Eventually, we want to arrive to a platform that allows for drug screening. And so what this project is set out to do is to create or set up an end-to-end service to bring these 3D tissues, organoids, spheroids, and the related research into microgravity and back. And as I mentioned, we are setting up a community. So what is the purpose of the setup of this community around this topic of microgravity for personalized medicine? So we want to unite thought leaders or key people that have an important role to play in these topics of organoids in space or 3D cell culturing or spheroids in space. We want, through that community, to advance personalized medicine to benefit life on Earth, leveraging the assets of space. And we want to foster the development of the members of that community and their R&D activities, and to promote their contributions, and to leverage the common interest to benefit both group and individual goals of the community members. Now, what would be the benefit for you to participate to such a community? So we want to set up this network so that will allow for you obviously to interact with other community members and thought leaders in this ecosystem or in this area. That will allow also to share best practices and ideas related to this field with peers or with other thought leaders, and to leverage the use of space to improve the outcomes in this context of personalized medicines or organoid research. To participate also in innovation competition and to get access to events, meetings, conferences that the community then would participate or organize. There are actually no fees, there are no contractual obligations, so the purpose is really to set up this community and to to have this strong interaction between community members and thought leaders. Now, if you think you actually have interesting contributions in those areas of microgravity for personalized medicine or organoids, 3D cell culturing, and spheroids in general in space, and you would be interested to join this community, I strongly invite you to send me an email, and then we will follow up by sending you the charter of this community and by telling you a bit more about how we see this organized. So I hope that there's indeed people here that might be interested. We definitely are eager to set up this community with people all over the world. So in that sense, I was more than happy that I could be talking also to Australia today. So with that, I want to conclude. So please do follow up, and the email is again here on the left lower side, my personal email, and also the IceCube's generic email. So if you have any questions relating to our IceCube service to get access to space for your research or technology, or if you are interested to join this key people community on the microgravity for personalized medicine, please do reach out to me. And I want to end then by thanking again the organizers of the event for having me here and for the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you and goodbye.